Hey y'all, welcome to my Redneck Racing shop. We got my 2017 Razor Turbo here. So we've done a lot of upgrades to it, you know, chromoly cage, got wide open design, we've got a good wrap on it, makes it look really nice. Sedona wheels and tires, little custom made tree kickers. We've done a lot of heavy duty stuff, you know, frame bracing. We got Super ATV chromoly A-arms, upgraded Fox shocks, shock protectors, limit straps to keep the axles from binding up. Like I said, bead locks, lights, moved the radiator to the back. We've done a lot of good things to make the thing strong and make it really last, but there's still one weak point that a lot of us have problems with, and that's the hub nut itself. You notice after you ride for a weekend or so, your wheel bearings are kind of loose. Well, the problem is, it's the nut that holds the hub on and the washers. So Hess Motorsports has made a new design nut. They searched the country, could not find a nut, so they made a nut. This nut has a wider mating surface, so it pushes on the hub at a wider point instead of so close to the splines. And then it is drilled they have a hardened pin that goes in it, and then a spiral lock ring, because even when you torque it, put it in there, you'll notice that if the nut will kind of back out a little bit, it'll start to chew on the actual carter pin, and therefore it's letting it get looser and looser. So I'm going to install this and show you the differences and show you the advantages. I've already taken the lug nuts off, we just got one more. So we've got our tools, we've got our torque wrench. These new nuts are 30 millimeter, where the OEM ones are a 27. Let's take our wheel off. So just to short and quick, we'll pull the old one off. I always use side cutters because you can grab it. You just bend your little tabs up. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows how to do this. The good thing with side cutters, you just get it halfway straight and you can pry on it like that and get it out. It just fell out. And this machine's got about 80 miles on it, and it's still tight, so that's a good thing. Because when they start breaking loose, then your wheel bearings wear early. We don't have to pull everything off, just the nut. So Super ATV and their Rhino axles, they send two nuts, or two washers. So Super ATV with their Rhino axles, which we have the Rhino 2.0s in this, which is supposed to be the heaviest axle made as far as strength. So they send two washers. You always put the washers where they cup to the outside. But like I said, this nut is a weak point. It's smaller. It pushes on a smaller surface area. Therefore, the washers will actually cup around the nut and let you get play in your hub. So this nut from Hess Motorsports is going to take care of that. It's a lot wider diameter. It's going to push on a wider surface and push on a wider area on the hub itself and keep it from actually flexing the washers. It'll hold everything locked up. And then they have this heavy duty pin. So we'll just take this little stock one and throw it away. It's got this heavy duty pin that goes through. That's a hardened pin. You're not going to break that or bend it or tweak it or anything else like you will with a carter pin that I can literally bend with my hands. So if I can bend it with my hands, eventually that nut is going to wear on it and flex it around and chew it up. So that's no good either. This hardened pin, I couldn't chew it in half, much less bend it in half. So it'll go in there, no big deal. Now Hess Motorsports also gives you a larger hardened washer. So you'll put your washer in there, the Hess Motorsports washer in there first, and they advise you to use one of the stock washers, and the only reason is that spaces the nut out to where the holes on the nut will line up with the holes in the axle. Otherwise, the holes might not line up and you won't be able to get your pin in there. So we put the washer in, put our stock washer in there, and don't worry because it's mushroom. This big guy will flatten her right out. And we take our torque wrench, put our 30 millimeter on there, and we torque them to 80 foot-pounds according to Polaris. Now like I said, I I put Loctite on the hubs and then slide them into the bearings. So I shouldn't have any problems. The thing is, you can't get them back out. You have to kind of heat them up to get them out, and therefore you might melt your seals. So I don't advise that for everybody, but it's kind of like insurance. But this nut is going to be even better insurance, where I probably won't have to Loctite them anymore. So we'll go 80 foot-pounds. We'll send her home. Of course, it would be spinning. So since we don't have the wheel on, the hub spins easy. My helper's running the camera, so I don't have no one to hold the brakes. So I just shove a 2x4 in here. Pull it until it's tight. So that's 80 foot-pounds. Now we'll make sure our holes are lined up. So fortunately, we have one hole. Otherwise, it's not holes not lined up. You have to make it move. We have one hole. Holes lined up. See, the pin lines up perfectly. So this hardened pin, we put that in there. Now these spiral lock rings, they call them, it's basically a big keychain. They come apart like that. So they tell me that the first time you put these little rings on, it's very hard. And the second time it's easier because they've kind of stretched a little bit. So you might have to fast forward on this part. So our spiral lock ring, which is basically a big keychain, goes in this groove. And it's kind of hard to get it started. But once you get it started, you kind of just spin it just like a keychain. Sorry for the camera angle. That's the spiral ring installed. The spiral ring's kind of hard to get on. You have to put a point on and then kind of work your way around and try not to bend it too bad. But they say the second time it's a little bit easier because you've kind of stretched it. All it's doing is holding that pin inside there. But that pin can't go anywhere now. It's stuck inside there. As you can see right there, the pin is in there. Spiral lock holds it, and it's all at 80 foot-pounds, and it's a much bigger mating surface. So now we'll put the wheel back on, do the other three. So that's the heavy duty hub nut design by Hess Motorsports. I advise everybody to go check that out. You buy them in pairs, so they come in 2 packs. So you can do the front and the rear. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do all 4. But check them out. And that's the beef from Redneck Racing.